Let's talk about rental properties. When you own rental properties and you go into a divorce, are you going to lose the properties? Who's going to keep them? Who's going to pay for them? Who's going to maintain them? These are some of the things I would love to discuss today. Hi, I'm Jim Krayeveld, founding and lead attorney at Krayeveld Family Law. If you own rental homes, they're purchased during the marriage and you've worked on them and you've built equity in them, and you're going through a divorce, Michigan law says, well, you're going to have to divide them in some fashion. It might mean that one party keeps them and buys out the other. It might mean that they have to be sold. Those are all things to be considered. But if it's marital property, so they were acquired during the marriage, built up during the marriage, they're going to be divided. Michigan law says you have to do equitable division, which means close to 50-50. Doesn't mean equal, but it's going to be very close to that. If you're going to have one party buy out the other, you're probably going to need to get some property valuations. Someone's going to have to do a valuation. What is the real estate worth? And you can figure out, less the mortgages, what's the equity in each piece of property. If it's an ongoing business, though, that earns money, you've got a property manager and there's income coming in, you may need a business valuation with a business valuation expert. There may be capital gains issues. You've got X amount invested in the house, it's increased to this amount because of market conditions. So you'll have to involve probably a tax expert, either a CPA or a tax attorney. Get advice on any kind of a buyout or a sale. You'll have to consider those tax implications that I just mentioned. Some folks will say, well, we're going to continue co-owning it. We'll have this LLC off to the side and we're both going to own these homes. That all depends on your relationship with your ex. If you can get along great and you can run a business together, terrific. But usually people get divorced because they aren't seeing eye to eye and they aren't agreeing on things. And so it's not a real likely occurrence that that's going to happen. There's going to be debt. I'm assuming there's going to be some mortgages on these houses. Who's going to be responsible for that? And even on a temporary basis, pending the divorce, where you're waiting 6 to 9 to 12 months to get divorced, because it can take that long, sometimes even worse or longer. Who's going to pay the mortgage? Who's going to pay the maintenance fee? Who's maintaining these properties? Who's finding the tenants, collecting the rent? All of those things need to be considered. So in order to deal with each of those issues, yes, you probably need some help and guidance with that. I hope that was helpful. Until next time.